Ladies and gentlemen, it's 1 p.m. and we are going to call the Wednesday, October 8th meeting of the Planning Advisory Committee to order. If I could have a motion for adoption of the agenda. Councillor Warren, Mayor Elmsley, all in favor? That carries. Thank you. Any declarations of pecuniary interest this afternoon? Seeing none. With that, we will move right into public meeting reports. As required under the Planning Act, a public meeting is being held prior to the committee making a recommendation on these applications. All recommendations that come out of this afternoon will be forwarded to the next regular council meeting on October the 21st. The purpose of this public hearing is to allow the committee to gather information on the applications before us, to hear those wishing to make submissions on applications, and to allow the committee to ask questions of the applicants, interested parties, and staff. Everyone speaking today is requested to state their name for the public record, and in the interest of time, the committee respectfully asks that you keep your comments to no more than 5 minutes. When the appropriate time comes after the planner makes their presentation, members of the public will be provided with an opportunity to speak to any public meeting items on the agenda. At that point, please either unmute yourself and turn on your video, or come to the podium and press the speak button to activate the microphone. And with that, we will move into item 3.1, Plan 2025-048, an application to amend the Township of Somerville zoning bylaw 78-45 at Shadow Lake Road 6, Front Range, Part Lot 63, Geographic Township of Somerville, Shepstone. And with that, Mark Fishman, I believe you're the planner on the file. Go ahead,
Yes.
sir.
Hello, everyone. For those I haven't met yet, my name is Mark Fishman, and I'm an urban planner from Dillon Consulting Limited, here on behalf of the City of Kawartha Lakes Development Services Division. Thank you to the applicant for being here today, and to staff and the chair and the rest of the Planning Advisory Committee for considering this zoning bylaw amendment application to facilitate the development of a single detached dwelling, today being presented and received for informational purposes only. I would like to note that the notice for this application was originally given to each landowner, agencies, and departments in accordance with the matters of the Planning Act. This is the first circulation and appearance at PAC for this application. The subject lands are located at the vacant lands on Shadow Lake Road 6, and the subject lands are legally known as Front Range, Part Lot 63, Geographic Township of Somerville, in the City of Kawartha Lakes. Sorry about that. The subject lands encompass a total area of approximately 4.67 hectares, with approximately 152.88 meters of frontage on Shadow Lake Road 6, and the subject lands are vacant with open space and forested area. Some of the surrounding uses include to the north rural, to the east rural, to the south rural and waterfront residential, and to the west waterfront residential and the water body known as Shadow Lake. The subject lands are designated rural in Schedule A7 of the Kawartha Lakes official plan, and they're currently zoned as rural general on Schedule A of the Township of Somerville zoning bylaw 78-45, amended by bylaw 96-14. The applicant is proposing to rezone a portion of the subject lands from rural general zone to part limited service residential zone in order to facilitate the development of a single detached dwelling on a private road. Planning staff recommend partial rezoning of the developable area to rural general exception zone, which would function like the limited service residential zone, although may remain in conformity with the underlying rural designation. At this time, this fulfills the statutory public meeting requirements as set out in the Planning Act. Planning staff respectfully recommend the zoning bylaw amendment D06-2025-013 through Plan 2025-048 be received for informational purposes only and referred back to staff until refinements to the zoning bylaw amendment and respective technical studies have been addressed. Planning staff and the applicant is here to assist in any questions anyone may have at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee, any questions for Mr. Fishman at this time? Okay, seeing none. Does the applicant, owner, or their agent wish to speak to the application? Go ahead,
Yes.
sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aditya Srinivas. I'm a planner at EcoView Consulting and the agent on this application. I'm representing the owner, Mr. Alan Shepstone. I think Mark covered pretty much everything. We are in agreement with the staff recommendation. We're okay to rezone the front portion of the property to an RG exception zone to permit the single detached dwelling. We also recommend the remaining portion of the property be put under a holding provision. And this holding provision can be lifted upon the completion of an EIS and an archaeological assessment. And if those assessments determine that development on these on this portion of the property can be permitted. That's the only thing I'd like to add. And if staff and committee are okay with this approach, we can provide a draft bylaw and a draft schedule and an addendum to the planning report. That's all I have to say. Any questions, I'm happy to answer. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Committee, questions? Okay, seeing none. Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak to the application? Anyone from the public wishing to speak to the application? Calling a third and final time. Anyone from the public wishing to speak to the application? All right, hearing none. Committee, what is your recommendation to council? Councillor Warren?
Through you, I'll move the recommendation.
All right, so a motion that report plan 2025-048 application to amend the Township of Somerville zoning bylaw 78-45 at Shadow Lake Road 6, frontage, range, part lot 63, geographic Township of Somerville, Shepstone be received for information. Is there a seconder for the motion? Member Willick, any discussion? Member O'Reilly?
Well, just a quick question, maybe through to you, Mr. Chair. Julia, is there very much more information that we need? I realize we've read the report. Going forward, just here for information that we could speed the process up, or should we just continue to go through the process?
Mr. Chair, through you, thank you for the question. The applicant had, I think, underscored the value of not proceeding at this time with a recommendation to council. We are still looking to review the environmental impact study requirements as well as archaeology. And so the pieces that would be extracted from that should make their way into a future zoning bylaw amendment. So we do recommend that we just receive the report as information today.
Thank you.
Any further discussion on the motion? Calling the question, all in favor? Any opposed? That carries. Thank you. That brings us to item 3.2, Plan 2025-049, applications to amend the Kawartha Lakes official plan and the Town of Lindsay zoning bylaw 2000-75 with red line revision to draft approved plan of subdivision at Tribute Southlands, part lots 23 and 24, concession for former Township of Lindsay Tribute. Mr. Watson, go ahead, please.
Sorry. So I'll be presenting. Good afternoon. My name is Rafael Romero. I'm an urban planner from Dillon Consulting Limited here on behalf of the City of Kawartha Lakes Development Services Division. Thank you to the applicant for being here today and to staff, the chair, and the rest of the Planning Advisory Committee for considering this official plan zoning bylaw amendment with red line revisions to the previously approved draft plan of subdivision today being presented and received for informational purposes only. I would like to note that notice for this application was originally given to each of the landowners, agencies, and departments in accordance with matters of the Planning Act. This is the first circulation and appearance at PAC for this application. The subject lands are known as the Tribute Southlands and are legally known as Part Lots 23 and 24, Concession 4, former town of Lindsay in the city of Kawartha Lakes. The subject lands encompass a total area of 73.57 hectares with frontage along Highway 35. The proposal is a revision of a project previously approved in 2023 under City File Number D01 2022-004, D06 2022 012, and D05 2022-002. Surrounding uses include the following: future development, also known as Tribute North, to the north. To the east, there are low residential dwellings. To the south is low and medium density residential, also known as the Sugarwood subdivision. And to the west is Highway 35, Kawartha Lakes Municipal Airport, and agricultural lands. The subject lands are designated as urban settlement area in the Schedule A3 of the City of Kawartha Lakes official plan. The lands are also subject to the Lindsay Secondary Plan, which designates the property as residential, parks and open space, institution, and community facilities, commercial, and the Drain Jennings Creek floodplain area in Schedule F1. Per Schedule A of the Town of Lindsay zoning bylaw number 2075, the subject lands are comprised of the following zones: residential 2 and 3 special zones, residential multiple 1 and 2 special zones, community facility special zones, parks and open space, and the general commercial special 14 zone. The applicant is, here we go. The applicant is proposing to rezone and redesignate portions of the subject lands to facilitate redline revisions of the previously approved draft plan of subdivision, which reconfigures lots within the subdivision, road layout, and a reduction in residential units up to 1,011 to 987 to facilitate the increase in commercial uses. Both an official plan and zoning bylaw amendment are required to facilitate the proposed red line revisions, which redesignate part of the lands from general commercial to residential and concurrently expand the general commercial designation area. Correspondingly, the zoning changes will align with the zoning map with a new lot pattern and amend the general commercial zone provisions to add uses such as the department store use. At this time, this fulfills the statutory public meeting requirement as set out in the Planning Act. Planning staff respectfully recommend that the official plan amendment, zoning bylaw amendment, and draft plan of subdivision application through Plan 2025-049 be received for informational purposes only and referred back to staff until refinements to the official plan and zoning bylaw amendment and respective technical studies have been addressed. Planning staff and the applicant are here to assist in any questions anyone may have at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Romero. Apologies on your name earlier. I read the wrong line. Any questions for Mr. Romero at this time? Committee, everybody's good? Okay, with that, does the applicant, owner, or their agent wish to speak to the application? Great, thank you. Committee, any questions? Everything's clear. Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak to the application? Anyone from the public wishing to speak to the application? Calling a third and final time. Anyone from the public wishing to speak to the application? Seeing and hearing none. Committee, your recommendation to council. Mayor Elmsley.
I'll move that report plan 2025-049, applications to amend the official plan and the Town of Lindsay zoning bylaw 2000-75 with red line revision to draft approved plan of subdivision at Tribute South Lands, part lots 23 and 24, concession 4, former Town of Lindsay, Tribute Lindsay 1 Limited, care of Paul Watson, be received for information.
Thank you. Seconder for the motion, Councillor Richardson. Any discussion? Calling the question, all in favor? Any opposed? And that carries. Thank you. And with that, this public meeting held under the Planning Act is now adjourned. Deputations, I believe we have none. Correspondence, none, Joel. No regular and returned reports. You guys can see what I'm leading up to. Motion for adjournment, Member Willick, seconded by Member O'Reilly. All in favor? Carried. Thanks for your time this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.